I married the guy I'd secretly crushed on since college, but he doesn't love me back. It was a boardroom marriage arranged by our parents. No problem loving him is good enough for me. After the wedding, the once cold husband who used to ignore me now circles my waist. Had I known you liked me too, I wouldn't have bothered pretending. Dad forced me to marry. He claimed family business was flagging these past 2 years. I resorted to full tantrum tactics, screaming, crying, threatening to faint. The second my legal target turned out to be Morgan, though. I begged Dad to hurry the ceremony. Come on, Morgan. The very same Morgan who'd been my 3-year secret crush guy in college. He barely glanced at me back then. After graduation, he took over Sterling Industries, dazzling the city before 30. Me. I played dutiful, ornamental couch potato at home. We've been married 3 months. The day we signed the certificate, he flew out on an overseas acquisition trip. Hilarious, what clearer way to dodge his new wife. Now he's finally home, and I intend to register my presence loud and clear. I bring him coffee and head for the study. Before knocking, I inhale, exhale, inhale again 3 full minutes. Morgan is poring over documents, lips pressed thin, brows knit. White shirt unbuttoned just enough to flash his throat. Lethal couldn't be sexier. My taste has always been impeccable. Oh, I catch myself 1 millisecond before shouting husband, brain spinning, oh, man. Morgan lifts his gaze, that stare razors straight through me. Something you need? I set the coffee down gently. You flew in today and still burning midnight oil. At this rate, your hair'll bail. You'll look ancient. He arches an eyebrow. So, old man, is your assessment looking ancient? Inside, I'm shrieking, impossible. My guy could never age. He's forever 25. Ah, lethal focus, lethal forearms, ahem. I fake calm. Not exactly. What I want is, stop hiding in here. Come hang out with your wife. While he sips, I sneak 2 greedy glances. Is there something on my face? Busted. A speck of sleep in your eye, left corner. I sweetly hand him 2 tissues. He blinks, stunned, as if I'd announced gravity reversed. Help, his bewilderment is adorable. I want to kiss the confusion right off him. Serena, are you sure you don't actually want anything? I bury my ulterior motives under a featherlight tone. Actually, yes, give me a job, assistant level is fine. The internet swears constant proximity breeds familiarity. Married and still engineering chance meetings. Ridiculous, I'll just walk straight in. Morgan sweeps a slow gaze over me. My lungs clamp. Please don't reject me, please, please, please. My pride can't take it. Something wrong. I whisper when the silence stretches. He cops his pen. Fine. Start tomorrow. I nod, fireworks detonating inside my skull. Daily guy access secured. My happiness is beyond civilian comprehension. Next morning, I'm officially on payroll. I don't spot Morgan once. Apparently, he has zero urge to give me real work. Sterling's executive suite gains 1 new piece of window dressing me. If only the man knew I'm praying for him to work me to death. When the CEO's private line rings, I snatch it mid-first trill, bossy. Every co-worker in the open plan freezes, neck swiveling. Guys, eyes off, I'm anxious enough. Bring me coffee. I detour to the pantry, check my lipstick, fluff my hair, prepare to be dazzled. Morgan? He lifts the cup, takes 1 sip, and frowns so hard his signature nearly rips. My stomach knots. Problem. He sets the cup aside. Too sweet. I didn't add sugar. Impossible. Back in college he drank it. Black wine taste scarred me for life. His pen stills. Ah. I sip to verify. Grimace. Force it down. Morgan, your taste buds need tech support. A bottle of oat milk appears, his hand extending it. Oh my God, those fingers. And it's my favorite brand. Today I crown myself Empress of the Universe. Wait, why does Luke keep oat milk in house? He hates dairy. Threat detected. Morgan, does anyone else visit your office? I regret the question before it finishes leaving my mouth. He employs 2 aides and half a floor of staff, obviously. Besides you, 2 aides and your senior coworker have stopped by, he answers, factual. My ears sour it into a confession. Right, 7 assistants on rotation. Why single me out? Vinegar drips off my tongue, even I noticed too late. Prettier than you, 0? I blink. I mean, no one. You top the list. System crash. He clears his throat, suddenly fascinated by the skyline. Tired? Head home if you need. Translation, dismissal. I've sat idle all day. I peek at his face. Honestly, you could summon me more. I'm asking to be trained, that's all. He rubs his temples. Fine, we'll ramp up slow. True to word, Morgan's call frequency climbs. My schedule actually populates. A month slips by, 0 romantic headway. I can't take it. I play hooky, haul Haley to 5th, spill my grievances between boutiques. Does he even like women? I orbit him non-stop air, nothing. Haley drags me into boudoir. 40 mortifying minutes later I emerge flushed, tissue-thin shopping bag dangling. Sure, this works. She pounds her chest. Guaranteed testosterone is helpless against lace. That night, Jordan, I took a shower, changed into the silk slip I bought that afternoon. Spaghetti thin straps that would snap with one tug. Satin skimmed my skin like water. I swallowed. I was turning myself on. If Morgan still refused to look at me, I'd officially be mad. I brought him coffee, same as always, perfect. He still didn't glance up. Morgan, I pointed, you've got something right here. I took 3 steps closer. I stopped beside his chair, bent at the waist, and brushed the sleep from the corner of his eye with my thumb. His breath hitched, then pure panic flashed across his face. Secret glee bubbled in me. I inched forward until my knees touched his. It won't wipe off, as if the universe had cued it. I tumbled straight into his lap. A low grunt escaped him. I almost lost control on the spot. Did I crush anything important? I squirmed to stand, his arm clamped around me again. Don't move. My arms around his waist tightened reflexively. Unless I was reading him completely wrong, Morgan was. We were about to get X-rated, oh my God. Face burning, I buried my head in his chest so he couldn't see. So the new battle armor hadn't been a waste of money after all. I slid the wrap top lower, exposing most of my collarbones. His gaze darkened, the knot of his throat rose and fell. Well, the Ice King wasn't made of actual ice. I looped my arms around his neck, breathless. Morgan, I'm hot. I'd spelled it out in neon. If he still played dumb, I'd cry then desecrate guy anyway. He shoved me off so fast the room blurred. How? Go wait outside. I have a meeting. His voice was gravel over ice. I sat frozen. Self-control on that level should be illegal. Translation: he still didn't want me, mood officially murdered. Luckily, Haley was hosting a pop-up bar full of gorgeous, sweet-talking pool boys and hadn't even bothered to invite me. I sniffed the address out myself. In her eyes, I'm the textbook faithful wife, nose glued to Morgan's sleeve. I whined the whole sorry saga into her shoulder. She threw her head back, cackled, and summoned to pools with a snap. She winked. Little, sample the buffet sometimes. One pool flanked me on each side, purring sis every other sentence until my head spun. The first cocktail disappeared, a pool leaned in. I jumped, and the rest of the drink splashed across my chest. Instantly, he draped his blazer over me. For heaven's sake, Dad, if only Morgan would do something half that gallant. But with Morgan's attitude, that scene belonged in another lifetime. The thought stung. I drowned it with a second, third, fourth drink until I was sobbing into Haley's neck, slurring Morgan's name. He showed up in wrinkled loungewear, hair every which way. I giggled through tears. I'd never seen him less than runway perfect 10 angels somebody had rumpled. How did you let her get this drunk? She can't hold liquor. His tone carried razor blades. His eyes swept the room and blackened. Why is she wearing some random jacket? Haley waved both hands. Not guilty. me.Sterling. Her dress was soaked. Who lent her his? She deposited me in his arms, patting my back like a coach sending in the final batter. I melted against him, boneless, Serena. I peered up, dizzy, HMM. What is it, husband? You're taking me home? But the boys want to drink with me 5 more minutes, please. His body locked, voice dropped 10 degrees, double quotes, no home, K. I nuzzled his sternum. The car ride felt like a freezer on wheels. Morgan radiated fury. Crap, had I yanked him out at the board meeting. The man worships spreadsheets. Please don't be mad, guy, because I'll absolutely do it again. My legs had turned to noodles. I hung off him all the way upstairs. Even his hairline was perfect, straight nose, kissable mouth. Dylan, help me. I smashed my lips against his dot. After that, the film cut to white. Next morning, my skull throbbed and my lips felt sandblasted. Great, literally drank myself inflamed. Morgan had left for Sterling headquarters. He texted, take the day off. I vaguely remembered borrowing clothes. Where were they? I tore the penthouse apart, even asked the housekeeper. Finally, I called him okay. I wanted to hear his voice. The clothes were just an excuse. Morgan, the outfit I was wearing last night, do you know where it went? A pause hung down the line. Is it important? Sort of. It belongs to somebody else. I should wash and return it. Another long, crackling silence. My pulse spiked. Am I interrupting something? Are you swamped? The line stayed quiet. You yanked it off yourself and threw it on the floor. I tried to stop you. His voice was calm, cool, hypnotic. Find whatever he said, I'd buy. I pulled a face. Then I'll Venmo transfer him the cost. You get back to work. Wait. A curt bark, then measured and slow. From now on, don't go drinking with other people. I said nothing, picturing him Ellis perfect in white shirt, black jacket, maximum filet mignon level restraint. My cheeks combusted. I tasted last night's stolen kiss again. Okay. I hung up, heart jackhammering. Evening, Morgan came home, disappeared into the bedroom, and Ray emerged in a bathrobe. I glanced over and froze. Tan skin, water drops racing down carved six-pack abs, the belt barely clinging shut. I jerked my head away, but my brain screamed for an instant replay. I kept sneaking peeks while his hair drip-drop sliding along jaw, sternum, lower. Serena, he caught me mid-stare. I jumped like a burglar. Crap, had my lust face been on full brightness? Years of perfect lady performance was the weight crumbling right now. Bring me a cup of coffee. I froze for a second, then hurried after him. Morgan's going to work after his shower. He should just marry his job. Why bother taking a wife when he's leaving a sensational beauty like me alone at home? I carried the coffee into the study, face full of resentment. Ouch, take that back. Morgan working in a bathrobe should be illegal. He sat down, the collar fell open even wider, giving me a better view, six-pack abs. I want to touch. I set the mug down and stood in front of his desk for ages, unable to look away. Since he clearly wasn't going to scold me, I plucked a book from the shelf behind him and curled up on the sofa, reading while secretly watching Morgan. 2 or 3 hours later, he hadn't moved an inch. The man's a rock. Sleepiness crept in. I couldn't fight it and my eyes slipped shut. I skipped the office again the next day. Chase was back from his overseas acquisition trip. We're childhood friends. I always thought I'd end up marrying Chase. Instead, I became Morgan's wife. The moment Chase saw me, he looked ready to pounce, but he stopped himself an inch before impact. Serena, where's Morgan? He didn't drive you. I still can't believe I missed your wedding. Morgan must have been beside himself. Man, I've never seen that guy show emotion. Just thinking about it gives me a rush. I totally agree. Morgan never lets anything show. His face permanently set to iceberg. Even on our wedding day, he barely blinked. You know, Serena, our parents originally wanted my family to merge with yours. Chase took a bite of his sandwich and folded his arms. If Morgan hadn't interfered, I wouldn't be dragged home for blind dates now. None of us dared make a move on you. Everyone knows you're Morgan's little treasure. I stared at him, unblinking. Chase gulped ice water to steady himself. Serena, don't tell me you actually like me. No, I'm not getting hunted down by Morgan. My voice shook. What did you say? Our marriage was engineered by Morgan. He likes me and all of you knew. I gaped at Chase, brain short-circuiting, while my heart pounded like it wanted out. Chase looked like he'd swallowed a fly. You mean you really didn't know? I thought Morgan told you. Crap, I just spilled his biggest secret. Cover for me, okay? Don't tell him, I squealed. I didn't want to hear another living so lonely Morgan. He likes me. The guy I've crushed on forever likes me back. Only then did it hit me, Morgan had played me. If he likes me, why act like I'm air? Game on, Morgan. That night when Jordan arrived, I calmly watched TV and didn't even glance at him. Predictably, Morgan lost his cool. Funny how I'd never noticed all those tails untying his tie so slowly, practically flirting. The shower in his room started up. Moments later, he reappeared in that same robe, the outline of his six-pack abs on full display. Suddenly, I got it. He was seducing me. I fought the urge to pounce and forced myself to stare at the show. The lead actor wasn't even half as hot as Morgan, and next thing I knew, I was mentally replacing the hero's face with his. Serena, his voice came from right behind me. He stepped over and sat beside me on the couch. Grandfather wants us home. He misses you. Sure. I adore Morgan's grandfather. He's the one who makes Morgan feed me and carry me bridal style. We headed to Sterling that night. Theodore was wide awake, waiting cheerfully. Before we could speak, he shooed us into a guest suite to rest. I eyed the closed door, then Morgan's calm face. Is Grandpa messing with us? Still, I was thrilled now I get to share a bed with Morgan. I took a shower. When I came out, he'd already laid two blankets on the sofa. My fists clenched. Does he actually like me or not? I was furious. I snapped off the light and dove into bed, leaving him to tidy up. I lay there forever, not a sound from his side. Ugh, what was I expecting? I'm tossing in turmoil while he snores. Morgan's killing me. I bolted upright, padded over, and stood in front of him. His eyes flew open. He sat up quickly and tucked my silk slip closed, exhaling in relief. Serena, are you sleepwalking? His voice was soft, half laughing. almost indulgent. I couldn't bear to wake up. Let this be a dream. And if I'm sleepwalking, anything I do doesn't count, right? I knelt on the sofa corner, fumbling. He caught my arm, his hand burned. I shifted forward, tripped over his leg, and tumbled straight into his arms. Instantly, he held me tight and sighed, "Even your dreams are dangerous." He stroked my hair. We were so close, his breath fanned my neck, sending shivers everywhere. He showed no sign of letting go. I wriggled, listening to his heart pound. In the faint moonlight, I accidentally brushed my lips across his. He froze, then flipped the script. His hand cupped the back of my head and deepened my staged kiss, stealing my breath inch by inch. The room heated. I pressed against him. A thin sheen of sweat blooming along my spine. Morgan's ragged pants filled my ear. If I didn't know what that meant, I'd never lived. The man had hidden his desires awfully well. I reached out and touched his face, inch by inch. When my fingers found his lips, I kissed him hard. Oh, our teeth clacked, damn it. Morgan pulled me up, and in the dimness, we sat face to face. For a moment, the air felt awkward. "Serena, were you faking?" His breathing wasn't steady. If you listened, you could hear the faint gasps. I didn't answer. "Morgan, it's been rough holding back, hasn't it?" The next second, the world spun, and I was flat beneath him. In the hush and the dark, every sense felt raw. A flicker of fear fluttered in me, and I pushed at his chest. He didn't budge. He guided my hand down, sliding it slowly until my fingers brushed his six-pack abs. My whole body jolted. He chuckled softly. "Didn't you say ABS were your favorite thing? Didn't you say you wanted to touch? So this is all the courage you've got, Serena." The man was definitely seducing me. I mumbled, "When did I ever say that?" He dipped his head, brushing the corner of my mouth with a gentle, coaxing kiss. "The night you were drunk, you hugged me and said you wanted to feel my ABS. You even kissed me." He kissed my lips again. "Do you already know?" I whimpered, confused. "Know that I'm in love with you." "How come you know everything?" I almost exploded from embarrassment. He pressed my lips to hush me. "No, I didn't know that you liked me. If I'd known sooner, Serena, I wouldn't have pretended so long." Boom, something detonated inside my head. Morgan had admitted it out loud. He loved me. My eyes stung. They started to well. I wound my arms around his strong waist and whispered against his ear, "Morgan, actually, I've liked you for ages. Ever since college. I even wrote you a love letter, but you never accepted it. You had someone tell me to stop wasting my time." He went quiet and didn't speak for the longest while. If the lamps had been on, I would have seen deep regret in his eyes. He tilted my chin and began dropping soft kisses on my lips, over and over. I waited so long for more that I got drowsy. The whole day had felt surreal. Ever since Chase told me Morgan loved me, I drifted off to sleep. When I woke the next morning, my mouth was swollen and red. I stood there stunned. "Morgan, you punk." No wonder my lips felt chapped. He'd taken advantage while I slept. Just then he came to call me for breakfast. I turned my head away, fuming. He laughed, a sound that scattered my wits. While I was spacing out, he scooped me up, carried me to the bathroom, even squeezed toothpaste onto my brush. I brushed. He leaned against the doorframe, arms folded, watching me without blinking. Honestly, who wouldn't blush? "Why are you staring at me like that?" He smiled. "I've wanted to do this for years. Now that we'd been found out, I acted like a timid quail, none of the daring I'd had when I tried to seduce him. Serena, aren't you going to ask when I started liking you?" I didn't ask. He answered himself anyway. "Probably a little earlier than you. Avery, after finals, A bunch of us went out to celebrate. A tipsy little sophomore tackled me, bawling that her family wouldn't let her go abroad, that they'd already planned a boardroom marriage for her. She said her whole life was mapped out, no freedom at all. He paused. I was clueless, thought she was nuts and cried ugly. My buddies roasted me for half a year over it. No girl had ever bawled that ugly in front of me. They'd always angle for their best side, even rehearse the tilt of their chin. You were different. He pulled me into his arms, those gorgeous eyes locking on mine, tenderly tucking stray strands of hair behind my ear. I told you State U was a great school. Then first day of term I saw you, ringed by upper-class guys you were shooting down one by one. I walked past and casually lifted a suitcase for you, but you didn't recognize me, didn't even say thanks. He hugged me so tightly I thought he'd fuse us into one. I was stunned. I really hadn't known it was him that night. I'd been smashed, remembered nothing. Then why didn't you accept my love letter? He looked aggrieved, almost cute. Wrongly accused. I had no idea it was from you. The Ice Queen sending love letters? Impossible. And you kept icing me out. I was afraid one extra glance would give me away. I buried my face in his chest. Would it kill you to grow one more mouth and just say it? How was I supposed to know all these years of secret crush, mutual secret crush, and we'd wasted them? He patted my back. It's okay. You never said either. Morgan, I swear, if you're bad at comfort, just stay silent. I rode with him to work but hopped out a block early so coworkers wouldn't spot us. Everyone at Sterling knew the CEO was married, but no one knew the bride was me. If they saw us, the gossip would explode. I never expected Morgan to wait in the lobby. I pretended not to see him and walked right past Serena. His cold tone made me shiver. He checked his watch. 3 minutes late. Follow me. He strode into the private elevator, leaving me dumbfounded. The instant the doors shut, he grinned and pinched my cheek. Serena, cuddle time. I want to walk in with you, want everyone to know you're mine. Is something wrong with this man? He'd scared me half to death, so all that aloofness had been an act. My ice-cold guy was secretly a clingy flirt. Judging by today's display, dream on, buddy. I trailed him to his office. He'd already stocked my favorite snacks. Morgan, that oat milk you handed me before, was that prepared just for me too? He lifted a brow. Who else? I worried you'd be bored at work. Imagine thinking I had some other woman stashed in here. My heart felt as if I'd swallowed a spoonful of honey. I dropped my gaze to my toes. But you never even looked at me. I never got a single excuse to come to your office. Of course, I overthought everything. Morgan went quiet for a moment, then spoke slowly. That really was my fault. Serena, if you dropped by any more often, I'd never get a thing done all day long. My head would be full of you. My cheeks burned. The heat in Morgan's eyes was so intense I didn't dare lift my head. How could this man be so smooth? The love lines poured out of him in whole sets. In the end, he held me and kissed me for the longest time. Every signature he finished, he begged for another kiss. When I finally walked out of the office, the co-workers in the executive suite lined up to watch me go, heads turning wherever I turned. One co-worker I'm friendly with slipped beside me. Serena, did the boss chew you out? He made you cry. My heart gave a violent lurch. Damn Morgan. I told him no more, and he still. The co-worker patted my arm. The president's usually not like this. Maybe he's just in a bad mood. Bad mood, my foot, big bad wolf acting team, all an act. The rest of the day my direct line never stopped ringing. Serena, missing you. Serena, come in for snacks. Serena, want a kiss? Morgan, you were never like this before. But I'm loving every second. Ever since we finally talked straight, Morgan's become a different person, stuck to me day and night like a love-struck plaster. We fooled around so late that night I almost couldn't get up the next morning and had to ride with Morgan to the Sterling gate. The whole way I hunched down, terrified some coworker would spot me. Morgan teased that I looked like we were sneaking around in an affair. I punched him in annoyance. Me, sneak around? I'm completely above board. Thank you very much. Just before quitting time, I noticed a bunch of unfamiliar faces drifting through the executive floor, stealing glances at me. I sneezed 3 times in a row, a bad premonition crawling up my spine. Sure enough, trouble hit. Before Morgan and I even reached home, a coworker had WhatsApped me a sheaf of screenshots. Sterling all staff was gossiping full blast. Did anyone else see that Vance secretary hop out of the boss's car today? I've run into it several times, but I was too scared to say didn't want to get fired. Makes sense, one whisper in his ear and she said, "This Vance girl plays high-level games." With a face like that. She's only been here a few days and already hugged our CEO. Impressive. Wonder if the legal Sterling knows? Can't wait for legal to catch side in the act. Drama jackpot? My hands shook so hard I couldn't even type a reply. Those screenshots were the polite ones. I closed the others after a single glance. Who knew the cheerful coworkers who smiled to my face could stab me so cleanly in the back? Morgan noticed something was off, tugged the phone from my fingers, and after one look slammed the Bentley to the curb. Let me see exactly who these people are tomorrow. They won't have desks. I've never raised my voice at my wife, and they dare bully her. His low, resonant voice swept every last cloud from my sky. Before I knew it, my lips curved upward. I threaded my fingers through his. Husband, don't. Morgan turned, eyes locking on my mouth, Adam's apple sliding. Serena, what did you just call me? Husband, let's go public, I said. Otherwise their mouths never stop. He yanked me into his arms and kissed me hard. I could feel his hands trembling. He was that stirred up. Still business first. He straightened my collar, held up his phone, and snapped a selfie of us. My wife, any questions? He posted to the 1,000-member group. Then he floored the car. Wife, all I want right now is to get home. His gaze was dark, hot palm riding my thigh. That night he kept me calling out husband until my voice went hoarse. I didn't make it to the office next morning, but according to my coworker was on fire. He carried our marriage certificate in his jacket. The moment he stepped into Sterling, he flashed it at everyone he met, bragging, "Did you know my wife is Serena?" Coworkers said they skipped lunch. They were drowning in PDA. I can picture it. Morgan looking smug and proud, waving the red booklet. How did you guess my wife is Serena? 1 year of marriage, and I treated the company like a hobby. 3 days on, 2 days off. Morgan said he'd process my resignation so I could stop pretending to work and just keep him company as Mrs. Sterling. HMPH wasn't his fault. I couldn't get out of bed in the morning. But fine, I'd only taken the job to seduce Morgan anyway. Now the man was caught. No more secretarial charade needed. I'm his wife now, and soon Morgan and I will level up to rookie mom and dad. Our baby Little just turned 2. He's every bit as proud and sincere as Morgan. I used to worry Morgan wouldn't like Little. Truth is, the two of them are thick as thieves. Morgan even enrolled in parenting classes. I've barely lifted a finger. He runs the show for both of us. Tonight Morgan is cradling Little, spinning a bedtime yarn. How about the story of Dad and Mom? Little nods solemnly, curls his tiny arms around Morgan's neck, and shuts his eyes. When I first married your mom, I had no clue how to act, so I kept hiding from her, hiding. Blame your mom for taking forever to say yes. I thought she didn't like me. I still remember the first time she brought me coffee. She said I had sleep in my eye. Scared me to death. What if she decided I was a slob and liked me even less? I drank that coffee she brewed and it tasted sweet no matter how many sips I took, though she insisted it was bitter. Later, Dad realized it was sweet only because your mom made it. Your mom's a little witch. She locked my eyes on her and threw away the key. She once confessed she has a thing for six-pack ABS, so I accidentally let her peek. Sure enough, she couldn't resist. But I'm never letting your mom have alcohol again. Once she's tipsy, there's nothing she won't do, and next morning she remembers nothing. He pauses, savoring the memory. Still, lucky for us, Dad was the one who found her that night. Otherwise, we might never have had you. My face is on fire. I roll around and clamp a hand over his mouth. Aren't you ashamed? You've told this story for 2 straight years. Little is already asleep. Morgan lifts me off the bed and tiptoes toward the guest suite. I'll keep telling it for years and years one day to his poor little sister too. Thanks for listening to today's tale. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? If you enjoyed the video, please like and share it with friends. We can't wait to read your comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more wonderful stories. See you next time.